guys, welcome to the Work at Home Crafter channel. My name is Jen and I share tips and tutorials to help you turn your love of crafting into a home-based business. Now today I have for you a cute little emoji party favor that you can sell on Etsy or at craft fairs. If you have a tween or a teen, then you know that emojis are still really popular right now. So emoji themed party favors do really well on Etsy. So today I wanted to show you how to make these cute little wrapped Hershey Nuggets with little emoji faces on them. And these make great birthday party favors, and I imagine that they will sell really well on Etsy. So I wanted to show you how to make those today. So let's get started. Okay, so before we get started, I want to show you the supplies you're going to need to make these party favors. These are the consumable items you're going to need to make your party favors. Now when you're pricing your products for Etsy, you only want to consider consumable products in your price because any tools and equipment that you use to make the party favors, that should be considered an investment in your business because you can use them over and over again. Now these things like paper and adhesive and similar items, these will get used up as you make the party favors and you will have to buy them again. So this is what should be considered in your pricing. So for these emoji party favors, you're going to need some cardstock. You're going to need a yellow for the emoji faces. You're going to need white cardstock to make the trays for the Hershey Nugget bags. You're going to need black cardstock, and then you're going to need scraps of red and blue cardstock for the emoji face details. And then you're going to need some sort of pattern paper for the wrappers on the nuggets. Now I am using the Birthday Memories Designer Series paper from Stampin' Up. They have two really cute patterns in that. They've got a polka dot and a striped pattern, which are in primary colors, and they look really cute on these favors. So that's what I'm using for this one. So you're going to need some lighter weight pattern paper. You're going to need your Hershey Nuggets. They're shaped like that if you've never seen those before, and they're available in a variety of flavors. Probably if you're selling this on Etsy, I would go with plain chocolate. With the prevalence of nut allergies these days, you want to steer clear of anything with nuts. Then you're going to need some adhesive. For this I use mini glue dots, and then I use my Xyron Create a Sticker adhesive. This isn't the cheapest adhesive you can use for making craft products, but it's so easy to use. You put your little pieces in here and it turns them into a sticker. And so just to save time, I like to use this. And then the last two consumable items you're going to need, you need pretzel bags. You can find these in party supply stores. That's where I got this one. You can also find them in craft stores around the Wilton candy making supplies. And those pretzel bags fit the Hershey Nuggets perfectly. And then the last thing you need is some 1/2 inch ribbon. I'm using 3/8 inch crushed curry mini chevron ribbon for this particular craft project. Okay, so now let's talk a little bit about the tools and equipment you're going to need to make these emoji party favors. First and foremost, you need a good paper trimmer. I recommend this Stampin' Up trimmer because in addition to the cutting blade right here, it's also got a scoring blade. So that makes it easy to create crisp fold lines, and you're going to be needing that for the tray for your candies. So you can also purchase a separate scoreboard, but if I can have one piece of equipment that does double duty, that saves you money. So that is why I recommend this one. So you need a paper trimmer and a paper scorer. You need a few basic items that you probably already have. You need a ruler, a pair of scissors. I recommend a bone folder if you've got one, or you can just use a fingernail if you don't have a bone folder. A paper piercing tool or a safety pin makes it easy to get the papers out of the dies that we're going to be using. And then you need a die cut machine. Now, die cut machines are a bit of an investment. They cost around $100. However, when you were starting an Etsy shop, it's really not that much of an investment. If you consider that other crafting machines, like a 3D printer or say a screen press or things like that, those run in the thousands of dollars. So $100 for a die cut machine really isn't a huge investment in your business, and you can do so much with it. I've had mine for 5 years and have made tons of things to sell on Etsy with it. So if you're serious about selling paper crafts on Etsy, I highly recommend investing in a die cut machine. And then the last thing you're going to need for this particular project is the Spellbinders Emojis die sets. So, and that I think currently is about $5 on Amazon, which is pretty cheap for a die set. So now that we've got all the equipment that you need and all the supplies, let's get started making these figures. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is to cut your paper. To save time, I went ahead and already cut this paper. You're going to need a piece of white cardstock that is 2.5 inches by 6 inches, and this is going to form the tray that slides in your bag to help support the candy. And then you need 6 pieces of pattern paper. I use 2 different designs. I use the stripe and the polka dot just to give it some more interest on the favor. And each of these pieces needs to be cut to 1 inch by 3¼ inches, and you need 6 of them. And those are going to be the wrappers for your candies. So the only other thing we need to do with this is you need to score this to form the tray. Like I mentioned, you can certainly use your paper trimmer if you have a scoring blade on it, but I'm going to grab my scoreboard here really quick. And you want to score this at 1/2 inch. You want to make sure the short edge is along the top of your scoreboard or the top of your trimmer, and score at 1/2 inch, and then again at 2 inches. And that's all you need the scoreboard for. I'm going to move that out of the way. And then if you have a bone folder, whoops, there's mine. You can use that to make these folds crisp. So all you have to do is run it along the edge and it gives you a nice fold. Just like so. And then that is going to be the little tray where your candies sit. So you can set that aside for now. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and add the wrappers to the nuggets. So you are going to need 6 of your chocolate nugget candies for each favor that you make. And I use glue dots, mini glue dots, to attach the wrapper to the candy. I get asked a lot of times about using hot glue for favors like this, but you really don't want to do that. I don't recommend it because when you add a little bit of hot glue to the candy, it's going to melt at that spot. And when it recools, it's going to be a little bit discolored, or it's going to leave a funny spot on it. And that might be fine if you're just making favors for your own parties, but if you are making these to sell, you don't want there to be any blemishes on the candy at all. So I recommend using mini glue dots because they are going to leave your candy unblemished. I just use Stampin' Up's mini glue dots, and I have them in a dispenser that I bought at Michael's. I can keep adding as many rolls, when I use up all the glue dots, I can add another roll to it, but it just makes it easy to pull the glue dots off because it acts like a tape dispenser. So let's get started. I use 3 mini glue dots per Hershey Nugget. I just add 1 to the top and then center the paper just like so, and then I add a glue dot to either end. And then just fold the wrapper around the candy, just like so. Okay, now that we've got our Hershey candies all wrapped and on our little tray, I'm going to show you how to make the emoji faces to decorate them. So we can set those aside, and you need to pull out your die cut machine and the die set. Now I'm going to show you how to make one of the faces, but the process to make the rest of the faces is exactly the same. I make 6 different faces when I make these favors, but you can certainly just do one design if you like, or do an assortment. It's up to you. So first of all, you need a background, and that's just a little circle that helps the face pop. So you want to make that in black, and I'm going to actually just cut that piece smaller to make more room. I'm all about running multiple things through my die cut machine at the same time if I can, to save time. And then I'm just using the one of the little faces. I'm going to make an emoji with sunglasses to show you. So I'm running that face through in yellow. This is Daffodil Delight cardstock. And then the last thing is I need to use this little die on black to make the sunglasses. Now unfortunately this die cuts all 3 at the same time, so you're going to waste the hearts and the teardrop, but it's such a small amount of paper it's not really a big deal. So I'm going to cut a little piece of black and run that through. So just put your cover plastic over and run it through your machine. Now when these come out, they will have the tendency to stick in the die, so I recommend using a paper piercing tool or a safety pin to pop them out. There's little holes on the back and you can just pop them right out. Just like so, and you have your nice cute little emoji face. And then do the same thing for the others. Actually these came right out, but they stuck to my board, of course. So here is the little sunglass shape that we'll need for the eyes. And then the last piece is the backing, and that one will stick as well, so use your little safety pin or paper piercing tool to pop that out. So then you want to repeat that process for the remaining faces. Like I said, I'm just going to do one to show you. So now I'm going to move this die cut machine out of the way. Now like I mentioned earlier in the video, I highly recommend using a Create a Sticker machine for this. These are really, really, really tiny pieces, and if you try to put adhesive on the back of that, you're going to get your hands all sticky. So this Xyron Create a Sticker machine makes it so much easier. You just slide the piece down in the little chute, and it's going to add adhesive to the back for you. And so I want to do that with the yellow faces and any embellishments that I want to go on the face, like the heart, the sunglasses, or the tears. And then you just pull on the adhesive here at the end, and that comes right out with adhesive on the back, and you can tear it off. Those are the faces I already made, so I'll show you those later. But then after this comes out of the machine, you just want to go and rub all over it, and that helps the adhesive to stick to the back. And then you can pull off the plastic cover and throw that away. So you want to take your yellow emoji face, make sure there's no extra adhesive sticking out in the holes, and then add that black piece to the back. And that's going to make your face pop, because otherwise you wouldn't be able to see it too well. So then after you have that done, you add any embellishments that you want to the face. In this case, I am doing the sunglasses, and I'm going to use the paper piercing tool to get that on there exactly positioned how I want it. So there we have the cute little emoji face, and then I'm going to run that back through the Create a Sticker machine to put adhesive on the back of it. And then repeat that process for your remaining emojis, and I will show you all the different little faces that I made. Oops. Okay, so here is the one with the sunglasses, and then I made a little kissy face one, and there's one with teardrops that's laughing, there's one with heart eyes, here's just a plain smiley face, and there's one that's winking. And those are the 6 emojis that I use for the favors. So now, since they're stickers already, since I ran them through the Create a Sticker machine, it's super easy to put on top of the chocolates. So I'm just going to grab my chocolates, and what I like to do is I like to alternate between the yellow and black plainer faces and the ones with a little bit of color. There are 3 that have either the red or the blue, so I like to alternate those. And all you have to do is pop them right on the center. Just like so. Oops. Put that one on the wrong one. So now all our emoji favors are made. Aren't those cute? I made these for my daughters for back to school treats, and they loved them. They were a big hit. Okay, now that we've gotten all our little candies wrapped, the last thing we need to do is put them in the bag and tie them with a little ribbon. So you want to grab one of your pretzel bags and just slide the tray of candies down into it. These pretzel bags are the perfect size for these nuggets. You could not ask for a better size bag for these. So just slide them down in there and make sure they're even with the tray, just like so. And then you will need to cut a 12-inch length of your ribbon. Now I already have a 12-inch length cut. So you just want to kind of center it on the back of the bag and tie it into a bow. Just like so, and that will keep your candies from sliding around when they're being passed out or during shipment. So get your bow all pretty like you want it. I never can get bows perfectly made. So if you guys have any tips for making bows, be sure to leave them in the comments below. Then after you get your bow like you want it, just use some scissors and trim up the ends. And that's all there is to it. Cute little party favors that you can sell at craft fairs or on Etsy. I have complete directions if you prefer to read directions. I have those over on my blog at workathomecrafter.com, and I'll be sure to put a link in the description. And I've also put a link to all the supplies that I use to make these. Now, if you would like to see more work-at-home craft ideas, be sure to subscribe to my channel. And if you like this project, be sure to give it a thumbs up. I would really appreciate that. So, I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I hope your Etsy shops are doing well. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful day.